Dog Gadgets. Live.
Happy Thursday! We are live. Yay! Thursday. As usual, I am Josh from BrownDogGadgets.com. Here, as always, with my awesome producer, Pete, who's over here.
I'm always Pete, not usually, but always.
He's typically Pete.
Mostly.
He's typically
sometimes.
Pete. Today, we are going to be building a very handy-dandy tool that everybody should have. Oh, I should probably grab the finished one for that, which...
It was right
Oh, there it is. I'm losing it on my desk. Here we go. Handy-dandy battery tester, because, quite frankly, we all have a ton of coin cell batteries in our classroom or our makerspace or our library or on a desk randomly, and you're like, hey, do these work or not? I don't know. You can sit there like a chump, which, like me, and just
Don't poke your finger with
put
that
LEDs on every single one, and that's really annoying. Or you can build yourself a really easy battery tester with a clothespin and an LED and some maker tape and just chomp on them. And does it work? Yay, it works. Chomp. It's a really simple project, and it's really, really, really handy. So we're going to build one today. Before I get into that, as always, these directions for this project can be found at browndoggadgets.com.
They can. And it's
there it
right
goes.
There.
Ooh, new font.
I know, right?
And if you want to follow more projects and see what cool things we're up to, because we're always posting new things, you can find us at these wonderful social media links. Ooh.
Right.
But yeah, this is a project we just made up randomly because we needed one, and it turned out to be a really handy thing to have. So
Definitely.
let's switch to our overhead and go over the tools and how to build this little guy. So what you need for this project are the following items. You need a wooden clothespin like this, and you can buy these from basically anywhere. We got like a big pack off Amazon to keep chip bags closed, I think, and just like for random projects. So we had a bunch around. These are handy. Get the wooden ones, by the way.
What about if plastic wouldn't work?
Okay, plastic would work too.
What about the kind that don't have a spring? And they just
You need a spring. Thanks,
You need a
Pete.
spring,
You need a
right.
spring-based
Okay.
one, plastic
Just
or
making sure.
wood. I like the wood because it looks fancier,
Wood's non-conductive, I believe.
as is plastic. You're going to need yourself a red LED, preferably diffused. You could go with a clear one like so.
If you want to blind yourself.
If you want to blind yourself. Always go with diffused unless you have a specific reason for having a clear beam. But a red works best. Red works well at lower voltages, so it'll work with batteries. It's a little bit of juice in them, but not our full strength. I mean, it also is a little easier on the eyes than, say, a blinding blue or white LED. Don't go color changing. But I like red because it works well, and it's red, it's on. And you're also going to need some handy-dandy maker tape, which is our nylon conductive tape that we sell. It's nice and sturdy. The big thing with this is, wow, hashtag maker tape.
Hashtag maker
That's
tape.
new. Pete has been working on so many fun little push-button things. Pushes a thing and something happens. Even a bunch of sound effects. So, which I can't hear because I don't have headphones
You'll
on.
hear them later when you watch it.
You assume I watch these afterwards.
I do.
I don't. You don't want to use copper foil for this. The original project I saw that you did this was a copper foil one, and it had so many horrible comments like, did copper foil but it didn't work. It keeps breaking on me. And that, yeah, somebody had like modified it so with the flex point back here was a wire that ran from here to here with copper foil, which was way too much work for the kind of project that this is. But our maker tape solves those problems by being literally a strong fabric tape that is really impossible to break. You need a pair of scissors really to cut it. So use the maker tape. Do not use copper foil. Say it with me, folks. Never use copper foil.
Never use copper foil. Hashtag maker tape.
Hashtag maker tape.
There you go.
And you can find this, by the way, on our website, Amazon. Most educational resellers have it. Makershed.com, Symphony.com. We've got a bunch of resellers these days, but when in doubt, Amazon. It's good stuff. It's a little bit more expensive than copper foil, but you use less of it per project because you're not screwing up as much. But anyway, this is great stuff, and it's way more kid and adult and project friendly. So here we go with our wonderful project. So first and foremost, you've got your clip and you've got your LED. Now, the one thing you can only mess up on this, one thing, Pete, is
One thing.
if you put your LED on backwards, which isn't really a mess up. It just means that you have to put your battery in upside down. Because the way this is right now, because my positive leg is right here, so I can put my battery in face up, which would make sense. But put it upside down, of course, it doesn't work.
Right.
So this is like the one thing you could technically mess up on. If you do, just your battery has to go on upside down. It's not that big of a deal. But anyway, take your LED and you're going to splay the legs outward, like so. Yay! Make sure you keep in mind the long leg is positive and the short leg is negative.
Yep.
Now, I have made note here because I always forget when I do these projects on air which one's positive and negative. I always forget. So what I like to do is I like to take my positive leg and I like to say bend it around or bend it like in a weird angle so that I know that this is my positive leg, which you have to do anyway because you have a lot of space on here to handle things. So you're just going to lay it on top like this. Ta-da! Yay! And in my original project, I just folded this positive leg down onto itself to make it shorter because I don't have a ton of space on the front here. You want to get really fancy because they bend it around and it will make life easy. And then you're going to want to cut yourself a piece.
Don't cut yourself.
Where's that sound effect? Sad trombone.
I did rim shot for that one.
Pete has been really working on sound effects for our live streams. It's apparently the one thing we've been missing. By the way, if you find this amusing, you find this stupid, you find this like errors in what we're doing, please make a comment on Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, or whatever, and we will see it and we will comment on it, hopefully in a good way.
Can they, what about Reddit or Pounce or any of those? Can they?
No.
No?
No. So there's two ways to go about this. All we're doing is applying tape over the top of our leg here and going down and around to the bottom of the pinch point here. I like to start at the pinch point, the bottom of the clip, and go around like so.
No, wait, Josh. Are you telling? I'm getting the idea that maybe the bottom, the sticky side of this maker tape, is conductive.
Yes, Pete, you're right. Maker tape
Wow.
is conductive on the bottom, unlike
That's
most
amazing.
copper foils.
Huh.
There you go. And this I'm going to cut and trim. Yes, it is conductive on top and bottom, so you can just lay it over
So
the
wait,
top of
is
your.
it two separate layers? The bottom and top are conductive, but they're separated.
Oh no, they're connected.
They're connected.
They're connected like
Wow,
something that I don't like two pieces of Lego that are hooked together.
that's amazing.
Like all these Lego pieces I have left over from yesterday because I didn't clean up. But anyway, just this, yay, you're good, ta-da. And to make life easy, I'm going to take my leftover tape here. Again, it doesn't matter how you do this. I'm going to take my leftover tape and just start right here on the bottom since I have a bit left over. And I'm going to run it around to the bottom here like so, just because I'm going to be done with this part. So I've got tape here and tape that goes and kind of stops on the bottom right here.
Right.
Great. So I'm just going to take another long piece of maker tape. There we go.
Josh, I have a question. The spring is metal. Is there any way you're going to like do a short circuit if
No,
the tape touches the
because
spring?
the only way that would happen is if you had the positive and negative legs touching in some weird way.
Gotcha.
But we're not, so we should be fine.
Good to know.
Actually, the big thing is up top. Just you probably want to make sure you're.
Slightly out of camera.
Oh, there we
There
go.
we
I'm
go.
always out of
Now we
camera.
can see it better.
If you want to make life really, really safe for yourself, just make sure that your LED doesn't come in contact with this metal part. I've never had an issue. I've made like 3 or 4 of these. If for some reason, like, oh no, it's not working, I think it's shorting out, rearrange your LED. And again, maker tape is pretty forgiving.
Yeah.
And
Usually the spring is sort of recessed, but maybe on a
Yeah.
different kind of clothespin it might be.
and if I look on here very closely, I can see my LED leg is not coming in contact with that metal. It'd be like the one thing you could really mess up on, I guess. Actually, really mess up and not like, oh, backwards. Anyway, it's a pretty straightforward project.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
Yay. So anyway, Pete, how's it going?
It's good. Can I tell you about the history of the C47?
What is the C47 mean?
Well, C47, Josh, is a clothespin, a wooden clothespin. So many years ago in the film industry, they would use clothespins to attach gels to hot lights.
Oh.
Because they're wood instead of metal, they wouldn't get hot or melt in it. So some film crew wanted to buy a bunch of clothespins. So they tried to get a bunch, and the studio executive, what are we buying clothespins for? We don't use these for making film. Someone's probably just making a joke, right? So they started calling them C47s, and then they asked for like, hey, we need 500 C47s. And the guy in purchasing is like, all right, whatever you guys need. He didn't know that they were clothespins because they made a name for it.
Oh.
C47. So if you're working with Ben or anyone in the film industry, say, hey, give me a C47, they're going to hand you a clothespin.
And now we know.
I know, right? That's we need for that. We need some applause.
There we go.
All right.
It's a pretty quick project,
Thanks
so
for the
we're
stuff.
running filler.
A little bit of history
so-
with your lesson today.
It's true. So
you.
I overlapped another piece of maker tape with that bottom piece that ended up being short. And I'm just coming along back here. And then what I did when I do this, I take my maker tape and I kind of fold it in a bit so it has a nice little bubble inward. That way there's a bit of flexibility with it.
Flexible joint, very nice.
Yeah, you don't want to make it nice and rigid and nice and flexible. Yay. And then just back up and over your other LED leg a bit, and then trim. Ta-da!
Wow.
Now we have yet another one of these in our office. But they're handy because we find a lot of batteries randomly in our warehouse and on our desks. We're like, does this work or not? And to prove this works, ta-da!
Ooh.
There you go. This is a Clothespin DIY Clothespin battery tester, and this will work with any 3-volt battery. Now, I do know there's a bunch of like 1.5-volt batteries out there, such as the AG13, or shoot, Helen was using the other week like a smaller version.
16.
Yeah,
instead of
2016, which
Yeah.
I think is 1.5 volts.
And they're half the size.
Yeah. Those will not work with this. These are meant for 3-volt batteries because 3-volt will get any LED going. 1.5 volts won't.
Could you stack up? I think she had stacked them.
She did to get 3 volts.
And it's the same thickness and then
Yeah.
doubles the voltage.
But that'd be
That'd be dope.
kind of bad for a battery test. You're like, oh, I need this battery. Well, let me get another battery.
Yes, it would.
It would not work out well.
Could I test a 9-volt with this?
Actually, you know what you could do, Pete, is if you wanted to test out smaller batteries, you could use one of our self-sticking motors that we have and stick it on here. We have these little, I don't think I have any on the table here, but they're little self-sticking flat pancake motors.
Yeah.
And those work up for just fine off 1.5 volts. You could say use that exact same process, self-sticking motor, then you clamp onto a small battery, and if it vibrates, it works.
Very nice.
That would be another way of doing it, a very kinesthetic way of doing it, as opposed to a visual format.
Yeah.
But that'd be a nice way to test out a smaller battery, 1.5 volt. Or, you could just get a voltmeter.
Visually impaired person needs to test their batteries.
There you,
Haptic feedback.
there you go.
That's a great idea.
Or hook up to a machine that squirts wasabi spray in the air, which is how they make smoke alarms for visually impaired people.
Wow.
Is
I had no
wasabi
idea.
spray. Now we've learned 2 things today. Literally, like, you gotta wake somebody up who is, no, sorry, it's hearing impaired, not visually. My God,
well,
visually, hearing impaired people
Oh, that makes more sense.
get wasabi spray because they can't hear the sound. Visually impaired people
It's like tear gas.
can still hear.
You hope.
Oh my gosh, it's Thursday.
Come
No,
on.
but yes, there's wasabi spraying smoke alarm for hearing impaired people because they can't hear the alarm. But no, you could use a vibrating motor as well instead of an LED for this. But there we go. That is this entire project. If anybody is watching, that's how you make it. The directions are on our website, browndoggadgets.com. We have maker tape there, which is the key to this wonderful, wonderful, wonderful thing. Yay. Are you flashing maker tape in the corner?
Yes.
Okay.
We have 7 viewers still.
7 viewers. Is one John
Any
Chavone?
questions about these?
John, if you're out there,
What do you call this thing anyway?
our Clothespin battery tester.
That's what it is.
It's on our website under our
is.
paper crafts and our big directions area.
Definitely.
And this is just it was a random thing we made up, and it works really, really well for things. We should not give you access to like buttons to press to turn things on and
I
off.
like pressing buttons.
Yeah, I know. But anyway, yeah, there you go. Yay,
Very
battery tester. It just makes things easier. Again, you're also right, Pete. If you want to do this with like a 9-volt battery,
Yeah.
you could use a couple LEDs in series that way. But that'd be kind of hard to get the two.
Maybe some big,
I guess it could
big
be.
resistor maybe put in there somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, our LEDs have built-in resistors on them, but even if you don't have a built-in resistor, it doesn't really matter for CR2032s.
Gosh, like anything else, this is a simple project. We want to inspire people to kind of go further, come up with their own crazy ideas, maybe share them with us, etc.
Indeed. And yeah, this is battery tester. And it's simple. I made one really quickly here, and now we're just killing time before going back to doing other work.
This might be our fastest build
I don't know.
so far.
I mean, it is pretty easy. Bristlebot takes slightly more work, but no, you can do the fun chompers. Chomp, 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 chomp,
Do you want to test some batteries now?
I mean, we actually, this came about because we had like a table, like literally like 20 or 30 batteries on a table. And some of them had like corroded because they've been overlapping each other. I think we used them for like a photography thing a while back.
Yeah.
It's been sitting on this plastic table to the side of me over here, and it was just, are they good? Are they not good? How can you test them out really quickly? And using just an LED to go like this was really annoying. And so I Google searched battery tester, and a bad version of this showed up. So this is hopefully a better version thanks to the wonders of #MakerTape.
Gosh, fun fact. A couple of years ago, you gave me a whole bunch of I think they were blinking LEDs.
Oh, yeah.
Or something. And so I wanted to run them for an event, an entire weekend. So what I did was I got a bunch of different of these CR2032s, and I connected them up to some LEDs to time how long they would last, because I wanted to last a full weekend. And a lot of them ran for, I kept track, and some lasted like 3 days.
Oh, at least,
or
yeah.
more, A few didn't only lasted like 2 days. So like you can get a different quality in those batteries. Some are really good, some are not as good. So
and for kids projects, it doesn't really matter with the CR2032s, and there's a lot of variations in quality. Never go to like a Walgreens or a Walmart and buy like a $5 version. Those are meant for very important things.
Yeah.
Get your inexpensive blister
and you're
pack.
always going to get like a 5-pack or a 10. You can't even buy just one. I mean, you're going to get.
Oh, Dollar Tree. Dollar Tree has a 3-pack for $1.
3-pack. Wow.
One you can find at a Walgreens, like in the hearing aid battery section, but those batteries are super overpriced. Anyway, Dollar Tree. AG13s and CR2032s.
Interesting.
Got like a
good
3-pack of CR2032s. I think it's like a 5 or 6-pack of AG13s, which is what we use for bristlebots, which is still a pretty good price for just like being able to stop and get some.
Yeah.
Because I think like the cheapest I've ever seen them on Amazon is like $1, like maybe $1.50 to $2 for a 5-pack.
Oh, okay.
Which makes the Dollar Tree 3-pack for $1 a pretty good deal.
Yeah, and the convenience if you just need to run to the store.
Yeah, there's just Dollar Trees everywhere, and as dollar stores go, those are nice for their stuff. But different quality. Blinking LEDs should last a long time. Shoot, I mean, I've had like clear blue LEDs I've used for name badges, like stuck in my car, just like throw a name badge after a show, like in a glove compartment or whatnot, and then 3-4 weeks later, I open it up to get something. Like there's this light, a little bit of light coming out, especially if it's dark out. I'm getting home at night. Because LEDs last a long time. It's just their visual, like the visualness of it. Like,
Now I have another question.
Oh.
So you said different colored LEDs might need more voltage.
Yes, it's because different LEDs have a different voltage threshold.
Right.
I believe red and yellow LEDs or green, yellow and green might be like 2.3 volts.
Okay.
To 3, something like 2.3, 2.5. It's been a while. Blue and white need, I want to say 3 volts to go, like about 3-ish, 3.2 volts.
Well, so would it make sense to
3-ish?
maybe make a few different ones and different colored LEDs to check how strong the battery is? I don't know.
Yeah, you could.
You could.
I mean, what we're doing paper crafts and blinking LED stuff, it doesn't
really just care if it's dead or if it works.
Yeah, I mean, at least for the stuff we're doing, and if you want to get really, really fancy, you get a multimeter out and you do a test on it to see like how the exact voltage is. But typically, you just need there's a minimum amount of voltage that you need to get an LED to turn on. The issue is if you have, say, a red LED and a blue LED hooked up to the same battery. What's going to happen is as the voltage in the battery drops over use, it gets lower and lower as the battery is used up. The red LED will keep going because, you're at 2.5 volts, I'm still good. Whereas the blue LED is like, I didn't have enough voltage to get it going.
Right.
So I've made a number of, especially like wearable projects in the past that had different colored LEDs on there, and it'd be on for like half a day, and suddenly the green and the red are still on, but the blue and the whites are gone.
We did our rocket card the other day. I'm pretty sure that one right now, I can see it from here. Looks like the red is still going, and maybe the blue is. So.
Yeah, the blue is out, and that's just been 2 days. I mean, red LEDs don't take much to get going, and we have, again, built-in resistors on our big LEDs, so they'll last a little bit longer, they're a little bit less of a amperage draw. But we're good. Unless somebody has a question out there, we're good. We're done.
I mean, we gained another viewer, so maybe they'll have a question or comment. John, you out there? No, John today.
John Chavone is always watching.
Block,
We like to call him out because he's a nice guy. He's probably not watching. He's probably got other things.
I think he might be our viewer of the week. We'll have to see.
Oh, yeah. It's like a new thing. I have to get like a graphic going tomorrow for like viewer of the week. The one person who commented. And that has been that's at the end of our daily episode of guy fumbles with electronics on a grid. On the grid.
For joining us. I'm going to press all the sound effects buttons now.
Thank God I can't hear them.
And with sad trombone.
Wow. Right. So anyway, those are all of our sound effects we have queued up on the panel. Indeed. And we're gonna have to end the live stream now before things get too silly. But hey, new font. That's something to celebrate. New fonts as I play with this LED.
We'll roll the credits.
Roll credits. Bye everybody.
Bye everyone.
Battery tester.
Thanks for watching.
please visit browndoggadgets.com for parts, projects, and curriculum. Follow us on social media at browndoggadgets. Check out our live streams at Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. We'll see you next time.